The judgment goes to 85 pages. I will therefore not pertinent. And number 3, we are prepared for the avoidance of doubt. The tribunal's recommendation to the President for the petitioner's removal from office under Article 168(7)(b) of the Constitution is also affirmed. We shall make no orders to costs, and this is a unanimous decision of PM Mwilu, Deputy Chief Justice, MK Ibrahim, Judge of the Court, JB Ojwang, Judge of the Court, Joe Kindongo, Judge of the Court, and myself. And I've had the most unfortunate duty of being the one to read such a finding on a colleague. I thank you.
A retired judge of the High Court, Justice Mutava, has passed on. The country, the legal sector, is mourning the death of Justice Mutava Musimi. Justice Mutava fought through the process from the tribunal chaired by Maraga, from the JSC, from the Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court. He lost honorably. From Court Helicopter, we pass our condolences to the family of Justice Mutava. We pass our condolences to all the legal fraternity. It is a big blow that Justice Mutava has died. Welcome to trending version of the Court Helicopter news. We are again having another mournful trending version. A judge, a retired judge of the High Court, Justice Mutava Musimi, has passed on. The country, the legal sector, is mourning the death of Justice Mutava. Justice Mutava Musimi is a judge who was removed from office, and he fought so hard and brings to the question where very many people are asking, what is the procedure of removal of a judge, a sitting judge? The procedure, we would send Cyrus to the Supreme Court registry, and because the country is mourning Mutava Musimi, we will only bring to you the battles he fought, what he won and what he lost. This is a man who stood firm to challenge his removal up to the Supreme Court. This is the case of Justice Mutava, which we have now with us. It is the petition number 15B of 2016. The Supreme Court of Kenya, the judges were PM Mwilu, the DCJ, and Vice President of the Supreme Court. That is, the next is Justice the late Ibrahim. Then we have Justice JB Ojwang, Justice Joe Kindongo, and Justice Isaac Lenaola, all of them judges of the Supreme Court. This was a decision that was rendered on March 12th, 2019. It was between the late Justice Joseph Mbalu Mutava against the tribunal appointed to investigate the conduct of Justice Joseph Mbalu Mutava, a judge of the High Court of Kenya. This was an appeal against the decision and the recommendations of the tribunal appointed under Article 168(5)(b) of the Constitution to investigate the conduct of the Honorable Justice Joseph Mbalu Mutava, delivered at Nairobi on 2nd September 2016. What are the brief facts in this matter? The petitioner was appointed a judge of the High Court of Kenya on August 23rd, 2011. Starting from March 2012 to March 2013, the Judicial Service Commission received 13 complaints against the petitioner. The committee of the Judicial Service Commission that investigated the complaint found that 3 of them laid sufficient basis for the petitioner's removal from office. On May 23rd, the JSC sent a petition to the President of Kenya recommending the petitioner's suspension and appointment of a tribunal to investigate the allegations made against the petition. A tribunal was appointed and a Gazette notice was issued to that effect. The late Mutava challenged the competence of the tribunal and alleged that the JSC had not given him a fair hearing. The High Court delivered a judgment in favor of the late Mutava and declared that the tribunal was void as two of its members were appointed outside the prescribed 14-day period. On appeal, the Court of Appeal found that the tribunal was appointed within the terms of the Constitution and it ought to discharge its mandate. In response, the late Mutava filed a notice of appeal at the Supreme Court but not pursued the appeal further. When the proceedings before the tribunal began, Mutava the late, through a preliminary objection, challenged the tribunal's jurisdiction to handle complaints that had been withdrawn. The tribunal made the finding that after the JSC investigated the complaints, they ceased to exist independently as complaints that were capable of being withdrawn. The tribunal's finding was that certain complaints were proved to be to the required standard. And it's recommended that the petitioner ought to be removed from office. The following were the complaints that were proved. One, that Justice Mutava the late irregularly, inappropriately, unknowingly, in collusion with the other parties caused Nairobi High Court miscellaneous JR application number 305 of 2012, that is the Republic versus Attorney General and three others, ex parte Kamlesh Mansulkhal Damji Patni, to be allocated to himself and without the knowledge and consent of the duty judge and the presiding judge of the Judicial Review Division. Two, that the late Mutava proceeded to write a judgment in respect of Nairobi High Court miscellaneous JR application number 305 and 312 and 305 of 2012, that is the Republic versus Attorney General and three others, ex parte Kamlesh Mansulkhal Damji Patni, at a time when the Judicial Service Commission was inquiring into allegations of misconduct against him with regard to the same matter. Third, that the petitioner sought to influence a ruling in the case of Nairobi HCCC number 705 of 209, Sesbit Investment Limited versus Josephine Akotho Nyango and three others in favor of the plaintiff therein, through oral and text messages from his cell phone to the judicial officer who was presiding over the hearing of that matter. Justice Mutava filed an appeal at the Supreme Court against the findings of the tribunal. He stated that the tribunal had no jurisdiction to investigate allegations made against him, as it was not properly constituted, and that it should not consider the allegations based on complaints that had been withdrawn. He added that the tribunal's findings were not founded on evidence, that there were unfounded presumptions made and that the evidence of some key witnesses was ignored. He added that there was failure to apply the correct standards of proof applicable. This is the tribunal that was read by the retired Chief Justice David Maraga. What was the finding of the Supreme Court? The Supreme Court made the following orders in paragraph 208. Arising from the above, the consequential orders to be made are that the petition of appeal dated 29th of 2016 is hereby dismissed. So, Mutava's petition was dismissed. B, the tribunal's findings with regard to the allegations 1 and 5 is hereby affirmed. Consequently, we hold that the petitioner's conduct amounted to gross misconduct contrary to Article 168(1)(e) of the Constitution. For avoidance of doubt, the tribunal's recommendation to the President for the petitioner's removal from office under Article 168(7)(b) of the Constitution is also affirmed. No orders as to cost. This was a judgment delivered in Nairobi on the 12th day of March 2019. So, Justice Mutava fought through the process from the tribunal chaired by Maraga, from the JSC, from the Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court. He lost honorably. President Uhuru Kenyatta relieved him his duties. Immediately, the Supreme Court gave out its verdict. From Court Helicopter, we pass our condolences to the family of Justice Mutava. We pass our condolences to all the legal fraternity. It is a big blow that Justice Mutava has died. Not a very old person at 66. He's a young legal mind, bright. And for the people of all the sectors where he worked, from Court Helicopter, our condolences. Wakili Dan Sanomari, bringing to you two sorrowful episodes of trending versions.